Yeah, let's check in with meteorologist Ross Caruso. He's tracking this for us, and, you know, we're getting ready for it. This could be the big one.
Yeah, and, it's slow going. So, don't be worried about, snow falling here by, midnight tonight. And I got some ways to show you just how slow the system's moving. But to start with just a big picture of the system, again, we have copious amounts of moisture that's flowing in all the way from the Gulf. This front slowly moving in that's going to be undercutting all this warm moisture to where we're going to be talking about freezing rain. We're going to be talking about sleet and snow. But to the north and west, where we saw snow first move in, quickly taking a look at this, this is a 12-hour loop from earlier today. And you can see from the far northwestern part of Ohio, this system has moved about 60 miles in 12 hours. So that's about 5 miles per hour. So this is slowly drifting to the south and east. So again, just give you some perspective on how slow the system's moving. And again, while we are looking at plain rain right now, we're seeing some heavy rain that's moving in from off to the west along I-75. So not only are we going to be dealing with some freezing rain, sleet, and snow, we got some heavy rain that already moved through earlier through central Ohio a few hours ago, just southeast of Morgan County now, just clearing out of McConnellsville. You'll likely see some light rain. And again, this rain's going to be sticking around for quite some time before we see that changeover. And also, it's good to see those air temperatures still well above the freezing mark, but you can see that sharp gradient where we are seeing that changeover from temperatures near the freezing mark to where you might be looking at some light ice accumulations far up to the north and west. But we're just going to continue to hang out generally into the mid to upper 30s through a good chunk of this evening. And with that, we will be looking at rain gradually changing over to freezing rain and then some sleet into the overnight. Temperatures eventually will fall to 27. It's going to hit 27 probably by around daybreak, if not a little bit later on into tomorrow. So we are going to be looking at temperatures that are going to be generally into the upper 20s through a good chunk of the day, but we're really going to see it all. Freezing rain, light ice accumulations with some heavier precipitation associated more so with sleet going into the afternoon and into the evening. Now looking at this hour by hour, again, this rain snow line is going to be slow going moving in, but by late tonight up towards Bucyrus, you could be seeing that light change over to some brief freezing rain. And then notice how we kind of get a giant swath of what's going to be more so freezing rain mixing in with a little bit of sleet, but this will be pretty light compared to what we've been dealing with as we head into the day on Thursday. Now we're going to continue to see that sleet and freezing rain mixture gradually change over going into the mid-morning hours up to the north towards Marion, likely dealing with plain snow by this point in time with some measurable snow already on the ground going into the mid-morning. And for us here in central Ohio, I do think there will be a big chunk of the day, especially into the afternoon, that we'll see sleet and then gradually mixing over to snow. And likely by the evening hours, we'll be looking at more snow that'll be tapering off. And again, that's going to be going into the early part of the overnight for us into the day on Friday, where again, temperatures are going to be well into the teens in spots, and we could be very well dealing with some temperatures feeling like they're in the sub-zero department with highs generally, again, looking like we might be able to crack 20 degrees. And to talk more about the totals with the snow and ice and, of course, some of the impacts that we'll be facing with this winter system, we'll now send things over to meteorologist Mackenzie Bart.
Hey, thanks, Ross. Yeah, let's talk about our snowfall totals because we've noticed really tight gradient with this, meaning that your neighbor 40 miles to the north or south might not see the same snowfall that you're seeing. So taking you up to the north, places like Lima, Toledo, they're definitely going to see the bulk of this, although we have noticed those snowfall amounts kind of dwindle down some. Here in central Ohio, right in the Columbus metro area, we're expecting 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. North of that, closer to Delaware, 5 to 8 inches. And then if you can continue up towards Mansfield, you're going to see a bit more than that. Taking you down south, closer towards the Chillicothe area, stretching back through Athens, we're going to say up to 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. Now let's talk about the ice because this is also going to make it pretty hazardous out there throughout the day on Thursday. We have also noticed this shift to the south a bit. So the bulk of that heavier ice that we're talking about is going to be places through Chillicothe, back through Athens, so south of I-70 is where we're really going to see a 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch. Here in the Columbus metro area, we're looking more at 1/10 of an inch up to 1/4 of an inch. And I want to talk about impacts when it comes to this. So even with 1/10 of an inch of ice, we're talking ice on trees and power lines, slick spots on the sidewalks and roadways. You really want to be careful walking and even driving. Now let's take that up a bit. So a 1/4 inch of ice, which is possible, especially south of I-70. That means coating the windshield, cars, dangerous for bridges, and even to stop on the roadways. And then the trees and power lines at that point could start to fail. And then places that could see 1/2 of an inch avalanche, which we are forecasting here, especially south of I-70, the Athens and Chillicothe area. That means widespread tree and power line damage, hazardous traveling conditions, and also widespread power outages, something we're all going to be timing out for you over the next 24 hours. But for a look at the weekend forecast, it looks a little bit calmer out there. Let's send it back to meteorologist Ross Caruso.
Yeah, thanks, Mackenzie. And again, we're going to be talking about those impacts likely lingering through the day as we head into Friday. But beyond that, going into the weekend, hopefully we could start to see some sunshine come our way. And it looks like that's what we'll be seeing for us as we head into the afternoon on Saturday. But boy, that is not a typo. -1 for your morning low on Saturday. We're then going to see highs likely only in the low 20s to start the weekend, and then right around the freezing mark with more sunshine as we head into your Saturday and Sunday. Beyond that, temperatures will be staying on the cool side, gradually warming up, where it looks like we'll be talking about another weather disturbance. Wishing we would get more of a break, but of course, Mother Nature tends to keep things interesting this time of the year here in Central Ohio.
Indeed. Ross, thanks so much.